Good morning. This is Asia Chantel here with New Yoga State of Mind. Let's get ready to do our 25-minute power yoga flow to strengthen the core and to lengthen the spine. So let's go ahead and get started in a tabletop position. So tabletop position, you pretty much are just like an upside down table almost. So your arms are going to be parallel to your shoulders, fingers spaced apart. Make sure that your core is pulled in nice and tight and your spine is nice and long here. So this is your tabletop. From here, we're just going to work on our breathing. So we're just going to go ahead and connect the breath to movement. So go ahead and inhale as you sink your core down low, lifting your heart, lifting your tailbone high, which creates this arch in the back. And then on your exhale, you are going to curve your spine, almost as if a string is in the middle of your back, pulling it toward the ceiling. Good. And then whenever you breathe in again, release the belly down, lifting the heart up. Good. And then as you exhale, pull it in tight. Good. So let's just go about 2 more of these. You can go at your own breath. So whenever I'm inhaling, if you're exhaling, that's okay, because you're gonna go at your own speed. Good, and then go ahead and turn your hips to the left. Go ahead and turn them to the right a few times, almost as if your spine was creating the letter C. Good. Excellent, then come right back to that tabletop with that long spine. Good. From here, we're going to do is go ahead and put your big toes together as we come into our child's pose, opening your knees nice and wide, almost to the edge corners of your mat. And then go ahead and just use your hands to press back, good, lowering your bottom down as if you were trying to sit on your heels. Good. And then just reach forward and lower your heart as it melts into the mat. Good. Still taking those hands and pressing your body back so you're coming as low as you can to the mat. Good. So this is your child's pose. It's a great relaxation pose. It's amazing for opening up the hips. Good. Perfect. So deep breath in. On the exhale, come outside of that, right back to that beautiful tabletop. And we're just going to tuck the toes from here. And when you tuck your toes, lift your pelvis up and then take it back, coming into our first downward dog of class today. So in our downward dog, just to start us off here, go ahead and bend your knees a little bit. Good. Go ahead and stretch out that calf muscle. Good. Excellent work. And then take a deep breath in as you take your head, pushing it through your arms, and peel your heart as close as you can to your thighs. Good, and then just go ahead and release into that stretch. What we're gonna do now is go right into a 3-legged downward dog. So take your right leg up as high as you can. Good, making sure your toes are pointed toward the floor. Good. And make sure your hips are centered. So go ahead and pull that left hip back. Good, and next time you take an exhale, bring your knee in to your wrist, hold it there for cheetah. Keep that core tight and then just extend it right back up. Good, so we're gonna go for that cheetah one more time. Go ahead and bring it in to your wrist and then extend it back up. Good, from here, now we're gonna go ahead and bend that knee once more, but take your right foot and put it in between your hands. Good, so that your hands almost frame that foot. Good. Go ahead and lower your left knee, untuck your left toes. Good. And just embrace this stretch here. Good. So your knee is parallel to your foot. Good. So it's not going over your toes. Good. And then once you find your balance, deep breath in as you reach out. Good. Pull that hip back. And then sink into that pose and trust yourself. Take your shoulders, relax your shoulders down. Good, to your low crescent. Once you feel comfortable, you can even stretch a little deeper into that. Good, deep breath in as you open up. Good, open that heart. And then reach back up. Great, now take both of your hands, putting them down. And we're just gonna take a nice, great stretch here. Take your right arm and extend it up to the ceiling. Good, as you pull that right knee in toward your heart. Good, on your exhale, bring it back down. Now we're just gonna take the left hand up. Good. Excellent, and bring it right back down. And now what we're gonna do is tuck those back left toes, lift that knee above the ground, and step back to your first plank, which is pretty much like the top of your push-up. So in a plank position, you wanna make sure your hips are not too high or too low, because you definitely don't wanna have any type of arch in your back with your plank. So from here, go ahead and press up onto your tippy toes, and then begin to lower down. And come all the way down to your belly. Good. Take a deep breath in as you just lift your heart off the floor. Good, just barely extending the elbows, and then come right back down. Good, go ahead and do that again. Deep breath in as you rise up, and then exhale down. Good. From here, what we're gonna do is go ahead and lift up one more time, but this time we're gonna extend our arms completely, keeping the shoulders relaxed, making sure the pelvis is not onto the mat. Good, and this is upward facing dog. From upward facing dog, we're just gonna tuck the toes under, take the hips up and back, and come right back into downward facing dog. Good, go ahead and pedal it out, breathe a little bit into the pose. Good, so now we're gonna do that same sequence just on the left leg. So take your left leg, extend it straight up. Good, remember, make sure those toes are facing down and the hips are centered. Good, and just like before, we're gonna take the left knee, bringing it into the left wrist, hold it for cheetah. Good, and extend it right back up to that three-legged downward dog. Bringing it for cheetah again. Good, but this time, we're gonna take a deep breath in, taking the left foot, putting it right in between our two hands here, and the hands frame the foot. Good, and then from here, we're gonna drop that right knee to the ground, untuck the right toes. Good, taking onto that runner's lunge. Whenever you're ready, inhale your arms up, and begin to sink into your pose. Remember, shoulders are down, heart is to the sky, and your hips are centered. So in this pose, you really want to make sure your left hip is not too much in front of your right. So make sure you take that left hip area and bring it back. That's how you want to be. Sink into it a little more. Good, remembering to breathe. Just because we are keeping our balance does not mean we should not be breathing. So deep breath in, deep breath out, keeping the core tight, and take both arms down. Good, so just like before, on our right leg, we're gonna go ahead and turn our heart into our left thigh there, taking the left hand up, breathe through it. Good, go ahead and take the left hand down, and then take your right up. Twisting the opposite way. Good, opening that hip flexor. Take the right hand down. Now we're just gonna go ahead and tuck the toes on your right foot. Lift that right knee back. And whenever you're ready, we're gonna take the left leg back to a plank. So now we're back in the top of our push-up pose, making sure the hip isn't too high or too low. Good, making sure the spine is straightened and the core is pulled in. Good, rock up to your tippy toes. Lower down all the way to your bellies again. Good, untuck those toes. Breathe as you rise up with your heart. Good, exhale back down. And then once more, inhale halfway for baby cobra. And then exhale down. This time we're gonna extend those elbows. Good, coming right back up, but this time all the way into an upward facing dog. Good, whenever you're ready, tuck the toes. Pelvis goes up and back, downward facing dog. Good, then we're gonna take a deep breath in as we walk the feet up to the hands, and then we're going to meet in a forward fold. So forward fold is when you just relax. You can have a slight bend in the knee. Good, and you wanna really make sure that you don't have too much of a curve in your back or too much of an arch. So you want your spine to be stable. Good, and if it feels comfortable for you, you can rock side to side here. Really stretching the back hamstrings. Good, we're gonna inhale our hands to our shins for halfway lift, and then exhale right back into that forward fold. Good, so now we're gonna take a deep breath in as we roll all the way up. Make sure your head's the last thing to rise. Feeling each vertebrae in your spine as you rise up. Good, and then once you get here, deep breath in, open the heart, reach back behind you like you were grabbing a beach ball from somebody. Good, and then come right back down. Good, one more time, we're gonna inhale the arms up, and then swan dive into a forward fold. Good, swaying left and right a few times. Good, coming right back to center. Good, as you go ahead and bend your knees, let your hands come to the mat. You can jump, step, or hop back to a plank. Top of the push-up. Good. Go ahead and pull that core in, relax the shoulders down. Good, pressing off the toes, lowering down. Finding your vinyasa as you rise up, upward facing dog. Good, go ahead and tuck those toes under. Pelvis goes up and back, downward dog. Good, so now we're just gonna do the almost exact sequence we did before, but we're gonna go ahead and add more to it. So right leg goes up, three-legged downward dog. Good, bring it in for cheetah. Right knee to right wrist. Send it back for downward facing dog. Go ahead and take that right foot, bring it through your hands, but this time we are not gonna drop the left knee. We're gonna keep the left knee how it is. Good, so we're just staying in that runner's lunge position. And from here, whenever you do find your balance, go ahead and rise your arms up nice and tall. Pull your core in tight. Relax your shoulders down. Sink into that high crescent lunge even more. As you breathe, you might go a little deeper or pull back, making sure that right hip is not too much in front of the left. Good. And then go ahead and lower your hands down. Good. And from here, what we're gonna do is inhale back up, straighten out that front right leg. Good, and then lower down. Bringing the hands down here to triangle. As you peel your heart towards your knee. Exhale, fall into the pose a little more. Good, and then deep breath in as you rise right back up, bending that front knee once again. From here, what we're gonna do is take that left foot and we're gonna pivot it down, and our entire body is gonna turn to the left for Warrior Two. So a few things about Warrior Two pose. You do wanna make sure that that front knee has almost a 90-degree bend so that the knee and the heel of your foot are in alignment. Good, make sure your core is in, you're not leaning forward, leaning too far back, sink in a little more. Perfect. Arms are parallel to each other. Good, from here we're just gonna lean forward and then deep right back up. Right hand comes over the head for Exalted Warrior. Good, then right back to a Warrior Two. And we're just gonna, from here, cartwheel both of those hands down as we come back onto the tippy toes of our left foot. Step back to a plank. Good, pull that core in. Lower down. Find your vinyasa flow here. And we're just gonna come right back up into that upward facing dog. Good, go ahead and tuck those toes under. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Good, this time we're gonna go ahead and take that left foot sky high. Bring it in for cheetah. Take it right back again. One more cheetah. Good, and we're gonna extend that left foot up. This time, swinging the left foot in between the hands. Good. And this time, just like before, we're not gonna drop that back right knee. We're gonna leave it as is and rise up. Good, sink a little deeper into it. Find your balance. And whenever you're ready, we're gonna go ahead and straighten out that front leg and lower ourselves down to triangle. This time the heart is trying to meet the left knee. Good. So you really should be feeling the stretch in the back of your leg and that hamstring area, even a little bit in your calf muscles. Exhale into it a little deeper, making sure you breathe life into every stretch that you do. And then whenever you're ready, rise right back up, bending that left knee once again. And we're gonna go ahead and take the back right foot this time. Pivot it down, arms come out to our sides. So now we're in warrior two, but on the right side. Good, checking in, making sure that core is tight. Good, sink into it just a little bit more, making sure our arms are out to our sides. We're gonna lean forward just a bit and then reverse it. Warrior two comes into exalted warrior. And then back to that warrior two once more. Cartwheel those hands down. And we're gonna step back to that plank again. Holding that plank, keeping that core tight. Good. Rock up to your tippy toes. Begin to find your flow. Good. Now, if coming up to upward facing dog ever bothers you, you can always stay down in cobra. Cobra's just right here. It's a little bit of a strain on your lower spine. But if it feels comfortable, then come up into that upward facing dog. Tucking the toes under, hips come up and back. Down dog. Good. From here, we're just gonna go ahead and walk, step, or hop. On the next inhale, we're gonna rise up, letting the head be the last thing to come forward. Good, taking your arms up over your head, releasing them down. And from here, we're gonna jump right into the third sequence. So go ahead and inhale the arms up, swan dive into that forward fold. Good, inhale the hands to the shins for halfway lift. Exhale back into the forward fold. Bending the knees, placing the hands on the mat. Jump, step, or hop back to a plank. Good. Plank core is pulled in tight. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead, level up, and then lower down, bending the elbows, untucking the toes, and rise up for cobra. And release back down. And this time, extend those arms and rise up for upward facing dog. Making sure the pelvis doesn't touch the mat. Tuck those toes under. We're gonna get the hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. So from here, we're gonna go into a lot like the sequence before, which was the second sequence, only this time we're gonna add another pose to it. So starting with the right leg first, three-legged downward dog. Good, bring it in, bringing your right knee to your right wrist, extend right back up. Good, this time we're just gonna take the foot, bring it in between the hands, and plant it. Good. Whenever you're ready, We're gonna rise up to a high crescent lunge. Good. In that high crescent lunge, you really wanna make sure that you're sinking the hips down, making sure that right hip is not too far out in front of the left so that your hips are square and your shoulders are relaxed. Good. From here, we're gonna take both hands down and lead your heart forward, coming into a humble warrior. Good. Take both hands back up. And this time we're gonna go into that warrior two. So the back left leg comes down. Good. Knee gets extended. Good. And now we're gonna go ahead and reach forward and take that right hand up and back. Don't lose the bend in your right knee. Good. And this time we're gonna come right back to that warrior two. And to reverse the poses that we just did, we're gonna come back onto the tippy toes of the left foot. Arms go right back in crescent lunge. Good. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and bring our hands toward our knees. Good. Bringing your foot back until you reach just about the middle of the mat here. And we're gonna go ahead and go into a warrior three pose. So warrior three, there's a few ways to do this. So as long as your back left leg is extended forward, then you're doing it correctly. So your hands could stay here. Good. Or if you wanna bring your hands to your chest, or you can bring your hands to your sides for warrior three. Making sure we remember to breathe into the pose. Good, and then go ahead and step that leg back. Arms come right back into that high crescent lunge. Excellent, so take both hands back. Take that right leg back to a plank. And whenever you're ready, begin to find your flow. Finding your flow is pretty much just going from a plank, lowering down to an up dog, and ending in a downward dog. Good, and that's your vinyasa movement. So we're just gonna keep that same thing going on the left. Left leg rises up. We're gonna bring it in for cheetah just one time. Good, extend the leg back. Inhale that knee back into the chest as you exhale the left foot down. Good. So now we're back into that runner's lunge. Not gonna lower that right leg. Good. Inhale up. Sink into that pose. Bring both hands down. Reach your arms behind you and your heart in front of you and below for humble warrior. So this time we're gonna take that warrior two on the right side. Good, so remember with your warrior two, try to take a look at your feet. You wanna make sure the heels of your feet are parallel and they could line them up. Left knee is bent, reach forward. Good, go to exalted warrior. As your left hand goes over your head, right back to that warrior pose. And just like before, we're gonna reverse the motions here. So you're gonna come back onto the tippy toes of your right foot, and your arms are gonna go right back in the air, and the knee is bent in front of you. Good, so from here, both hands come down to the mat. We're gonna bring that foot right back into the middle of our mat again. This time we're gonna lift the right leg up to try our warrior three pose. So you can stay here, or you can bring your hands to your heart, bringing them to prayer pose, or out to your sides, whatever feels best for you. Good, heart is nice and low, keeping our balance by focusing on one particular thing in the room. Excellent, and then just bring those hands down and step right back to your runner's lunge. From here, we're gonna be back into plank. Keep that core pulled in tight and find your flow. Begin to try to write it down. Inhale those arms here. Heart goes to the sky. Tuck those toes under. Downward dog is where we meet. Excellent. So now that we have completed all of our flows here, let's go down to the mat. Coming back into our child's pose. So remember, child's pose, we're opening up the knees as wide as we can. Big toes to touch. Press back as if you're sitting right on the heels of your feet. And then go ahead and lower down. The purpose is to get your heart as low to the ground as you want and not your shoulders. So you're kind of sinking in just a little bit. Good. If you want more of a stretch here with your shoulders, this is optional. You can go ahead and take your hands behind your back and actually lift your arms up. And then bring them back down. Good. And then from here, we're going to come back to our tabletop pose just to give ourselves a little bit of a core stretch and a core exercise. Go ahead and take your right arm out. Good. And then take your left leg back so that your body forms a diagonal line, keeping the core in tight. Good. And just a few times here, we're going to bend the right elbow to the left knee and extend back out. Good. Bring it in again. Exhale out. 2 more times. Bring it in. And last time. Good. And now you can hold it here. If you were going to create just a little bit of a glute workout, we're going to go ahead and take that left leg back. Good. And just rise. About 10 times here. 5 more. Good. Then go ahead and bring the left knee down to the right hand. So we're going to do the same thing just on the opposite side. Left arm. And the right leg gets extended behind you. Form your line. Keep your core in tight. And then begin to breathe as you bring in the elbow to the knee. Good. So this time, left elbow, right knee. 2 more times. Good. Now we're just going to hold this pose here. You can stay here, or you can just begin to do a few pulses. Just about 10 times. Good. 5 more. Excellent. Then go ahead and bring the left hand to the mat, bringing the knee back to the mat as well. Good. Now from here, we're just going to press back and lower the hands nice and low into our little cocoon as we just take a moment to breathe. As we begin to lower the heart rate, go ahead and inhale for 2 seconds, but see if you can exhale for 4. As we end the class today, just focusing on a positive intention for yourself. If there is anything that you personally wish to manifest or to come in your future, let's go ahead and put that at the forefront of our minds today. Excellent. Lowering your head to the mat. Take your arms and just bring them at your side. Good. If your head is one way, turn your head to the other side. Good. And then bring your hands right back in front of you. And then slowly, whenever you're ready, begin to peel yourself up. Good. And you have just finished your 25 minutes with Asia Chantel of New Yoga State of Mind. So thank you so much. So let's go ahead and end class together. As we inhale the arms up, bringing them to heart center, bow your head. The light and the love that resides inside of me honors, bows to, and recognizes the light and love that resides in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for letting me lead your yoga class this morning. Namaste. Have a great day. And again, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Asia Chantel, or take a look at our website at newyogastateofmind.com. More videos to come soon. Thank you.